Have you ever seen videos of K-pop concerts online or on TV? Ever notice how fans hold those fan signs with their favorite idol's name or group's name? In this video, we will be teaching you how to make K-pop fan signs for concerts or events, specifically Bigbang's Made Tour in Honolulu. Before anything else, make sure to line your workspace with newspaper. This will catch all the paint drips, glue, glitter, anything else that would mess up your workspace. If recycling cardboard, you can use paint of your choice to color it. In my case, I like using black because this makes everything else pop out once the lights hit it. It's always good to plan out your sign before actually making it, so in this case, I decided to combine Made's logo and Alive's logo. Now, if your design involves a lot of straight pieces just like mine, use a ruler and mark your measurements on the backing of the foam. Use more than one mark before lining it to avoid skewing or curving of the lines. This will ensure that your piece is all even. The next step is to cut the pieces with an X-Acto knife or a box cutter. When cutting, use a ruler to keep the cut straight. I use a ruler with a cork on the back so it doesn't slide around as I cut the piece. Be extra careful when cutting with an X-Acto knife or a box cutter because it might be too sharp. Ask an adult if needed. Now for my case, I always prefer using an X-Acto knife or a box cutter over a pair of scissors, only because it cuts more cleanly compared to a pair of scissors. Honestly, when I use the scissors, it tends to curl on the sides once I cut it. So given that I'm using X-Acto knife and a ruler, my pieces are more straight. So this is more highly recommended for straight pieces and more detailed pieces. Before sticking anything on the sign, make sure to lay it first without taking off the backing. It's more for adjustment. If you think about it, if your piece is too high and it's already glued on, it's gonna be a bit harder to move it around, especially with glitter foam. Once you stick it on and then you peel it back off, the backing would not be as sticky as you want it anymore, so it's gonna fall off. Another good thing about not putting it straight on is the fact that you can shorten it if the piece is too long. Just like my case, my middle pieces are too long and uneven, so I can just cut them with the X-Acto knife and put it back on. And one last thing, if you're still unsure about the placings, you can always use a pencil to mark it, but make sure it's gonna be covered by some of the pieces so then it doesn't show too much. And then once you're decided, just peel off the back and stick everything on, and then move on to the next step. Now the next part is pretty big when it comes to making signs, which is the letters that would spell out the name of your bias or your favorite group. Whenever making the letters, and especially when you have a busy background, it's always good to outline lighter colors with dark to make them pop even more. So in this case, I'm using silver and black. Black would be the background and then silver would be the main letters. When sketching your letters on the back of the glitter piece, make sure you're doing an inverted or mirrored version of that letter, because then if you do it the right way, it's gonna be backwards once you try to glue it on. To save glitter foam, just like my case, try to sketch the letters as close as possible, and then you would have like a bigger percentage of a piece that's left over if you do it this way. After you cut everything, stick the light foam to the dark foam and give it enough spaces in between. Think of your desired thickness for the outline. In some cases, some people would place the word spelled out on the dark foam and just cut it all at once into one big piece. But for my case, my black foam is really tiny, so I did each letter separately. Again, be extra careful when you're using X-Acto knife, especially on this case. You're not using any ruler and it has more curves, so it's better to turn the letter around and then cut afterwards. Now place the letters on the sign. Use extra double-sided tape if the letters are coming off, especially on this case it's glitter foam on glitter foam, so it has a tendency to fall off more easily. If you have a sticker piece that's sticking out of the cardboard, either trace the shape of the cardboard on the piece and cut the backing partially, or in my case, I grabbed the paper and placed that on the sticky side of the sticker, traced it, and then cut it on that shape. The problem here is if you have a sticky part exposed, it might stick somewhere else and it might rip the piece off your sign, so it's gonna get ruined. Once you cut the backing paper, you can just stick it on the back. It doesn't have to be perfect, it just needs to cover most of the sticky part of the sticker. The next part is just extra. I had a lot of strips that was not used, so I cut them into smaller parts and just framed the sides of my sign. And voila, there you have it, a Bigbang sign for concerts or fan meet. Now some last minute details, especially when using an X-Acto knife. Make sure you're extra careful when using this. You don't want to get hurt while trying to make a sign. Especially, you're supposed to have fun while doing this. And, just be creative whenever you're making it. If you have any questions regarding this video, make sure to leave a comment down below and like, comment, subscribe. Thank you very much for watching.